Now we're out here in turf and we're irrigating Walla Walla silt loam right out the door out here on a spray system, and we're applying that water in 1 inch an hour. Shouldn't it all be running off? Well, we're only going to run it for 20 minutes. We're going to run it for 20 minutes at 1 inch an hour. So it's up here running 1 inch an hour. Here's 20 minutes. Look at that. It only runs that long and it stops. I stayed below the curve. The instantaneous intake rates while the soil is dry can take the water real fast. Thank goodness, because I'm going to put it on real fast with a bunch of spray heads around this building. I'm really going to dump it out there. But you know it can handle it. If I ran it for an hour, I kept running it out here for an hour, look what happened to me. All of this water is going to run off because there's an awful lot of slope around this building. All the water above the curve is going somewhere else because it can't stand being here in this soil. It can't go in fast enough because my intake rate is starting to fill up and it starts to slow down. As the profile fills up, all those big air voids get full of water, it starts to slow the permeability of the water internally down. Okay? So there's a real twist to how we can irrigate. We have to look at the instantaneous capability of that soil to be able to live with it and know what our maximums are. What are our maximums? How far can I take it before I start running off? I need to know that. Now if I need to put an hour's worth on, what I need to do is I need to shut it off after 20 minutes and let it sit there and soak in for a while. And let this kind of straighten itself back out again so it's ready to take another big rush of water. And hopefully I can let it sit long enough to do that. Might not be able to. Yes?
Would you base that intake rate on the type of soil?
Is the intake rate based on the type of soil? Absolutely. That's why I say this curve would be specifically for a given silt loam. Yeah, we'll look at some others here in a minute. Good point. Now, if this were a sand, what's the curve going to look like? Dan brings up the point. What's going to look like for sand? Is it going to be worse or better? It's going to be higher, isn't it? Because, boy, we can do a lot better with sand. Sand might be up here where we have a constant. When we get out here, it might be something like this. Forever. And it's going to reach its constants quicker, generally speaking, but it's going to be a lot higher. So see this guy, he's up here about 5 to 6/10 of an hour. This would be more characteristic of a sand. Well, now I can run a whole lot more water on my wheel line if I wanted to. I could nozzle up so I'm running twice the flow rate, and I'd only have to run it half as long. I could get across the field a lot quicker. I'd run bigger flows. If I'm watering a turf, I can put on these great big heads, let them run longer, and it's not going to hurt me any. All the water's going to sink in. And that we're going to get real high rates out of some of these big turf heads.